Can you feel a bit of revolution in the air? And some would say we are on the precipice. Some would say we already are living the fourth industrial revolution. Whatever rocks your boat, I'm here to tell you there's a whole lot of change coming. 2 words: humanoid robots. Versatile, intelligent, dexterous, and pretty much any other adjective from the Cosmos section what women want in a man, but in machines. And I don't mean Bert Kreischer, the machine. I mean human-looking droids that can help but also replace humans. From heavy unskilled labor to dangerous experiments in high-tech labs to just your ordinary house cleaning. But hold it. People have been talking about droids for ages. What's so different now? The stage has been set with huge leaps in generative AI algorithms, and the show is about to begin with thinking, understanding, and physically able robots. I'm Nick, and this is Act 1, Scene 1 for Top 10 Humanoid Robots. The holy grail for engineers developing droids is to replicate human ability. In other words, robots shouldn't just have hands like a human, they should be able to use them like one. Today, many developers are fixated on creating actuators with hair trigger tolerances that will allow robots to move with high precision. But is that really the secret to how apt humans are with their hands? Unequivocally, no. Perhaps vision is our superpower. Robots, too, are already perfectly able to position themselves in space and recognize objects. Although it makes their tasks easier, this doesn't help them either. So the secret of human dexterity is not vision. Otherwise, humans could do nothing in the dark or blindfolded. Our chutzpah comes from a rich network of sensors that transmit information to the brain, wherefrom it can make decisions and, most importantly, learn. Children start out stumbling awkwardly, but gradually their abilities evolve and they begin to interact with objects without looking. Animals can do this as well. The basis of this sensor network is a trifecta of vision, touch, and proprioception, the sense of one's body. Robots have vision, and many of them, such as Atlas and TeslaBot, can understand the position of their bodies in space. However, touch is often limited to force and sometimes pressure sensors. Whereas humans receive much more information through touch. For example, we feel vibration, deformation, and compression, understand the magnitude and direction of force, gliding, friction, and texture. All of these parameters are processed by our brain and influence how we hold and manipulate an object. What's more, with each interaction, we learn. Bottom line, to create an agile, universal humanoid, you need a hardware platform that can perform human tasks, tactile sensors that measure all the important parameters, and software that allows the robot to learn from its mistakes and pass on its experience to other robots. For better or worse, all of this is already in place. And to a greater or lesser extent, it is embodied in 10 of the world's newest and most advanced humanoid robots. Let's start with the least humanoid-looking but commercially available robot, Digit, from Agility Robotics. It was designed to work in a warehouse and is already being tested by Amazon. Digit's unique feature that sets it apart from the rest of the field is its backward-bending knees. These robot legs are a highly efficient kinematic model that responds to unexpected impacts while being energy efficient at the same time. This makes Agility Robotics' offspring very fast and at the same time very stable. Digit's arms don't look like ours either. The developers only gave the robot a simple grip for handling boxes, stating that it doesn't need more. And this is despite the fact that Digit is one of the most funded humanoid robot projects in the world, and it's going to be produced in a factory with a capacity of 10,000 units per year. The factory, by the way, is already under construction. However, Digit is not the only commercial humanoid to be mass-produced. Singapore-based startup Fourier Intelligence has been producing exoskeletons for medical purposes since 2017. However, riding the wave of popularity of droids, the engineers decided not to nickel and dime. After all, an exoskeleton that can support a person's weight and facilitate walking is almost a ready-made robot. So, there was a first-generation humanoid called GR1. The robot is 6 feet tall, 180 centimeters, and weighs 120 pounds or 65 kilos with 40 degrees of freedom. Thanks to peak torque of 300 Newton-meter generated by an articulated module mounted on its hip, the robot can walk at a speed of 3 miles per hour or 5 kilometers per hour and can collect and carry objects weighing a tad under its own weight. The robot was primarily designed for medical rehabilitation, but GR1 also has elements of artificial intelligence. For example, to ensure natural interaction with people, it's equipped with ChatGPT, and in the future, the company hopes to train its robot in elderly care and household maintenance. Moving on, 1X, formerly Heloti Robotics, recently received $23.5 million to put its nimble humanoid robot on real legs. Moreover, the main investor was the company OpenAI, whose experts considered the robot one of the most advanced in the world. The earlier generation of 1X robots was called Eve and was already able to move autonomously and navigate terrain, as well as manipulate objects, open doors, and perform other functions. However, it traveled on a wheeled base. Now, the robot will stand firm and tall on its own feet, and it will be named Neo. I wonder if it's going to know that there's no spoon. We'll have an update about Uri Geller-esque antics from 1X in the coming months. Recently, the world saw yet another humanoid robot, another telling name, Apollo from Apptronik. The company developed and delivered several generations of humanoid exoskeletons for the US DoD. Apptronik built on those to create the Astra robot, for which it developed hand-eye coordination to lift and manipulate objects. Then Astra served as the foundation for the new Apollo robot. The bot is 5'8", which is 173 centimeters tall, and weighs 160 pounds, which is 73 kilos, and can run up to 4 hours on a single replaceable battery, carrying loads of up to a quarter of its own weight, which is 25% more than the Tesla bot and the Figure robot. Apollo is designed to work in warehouses, so its first production version won't have human hands. However, the company then hopes to refine the robot and make it a universal humanoid. We know nothing about the robot's training, but in today's bull market, developers often skip this info, among other things, in the hope that soon there will be a breakthrough in robot training and they'll be able to quickly roll out an update and call their next robot Orpheus. Xiaomi's Cyber 1 humanoid robot remains a mystery project. What's intriguing is whether one of the largest smartphone manufacturers in Asia will bring its project to a logical end, or was it a way to just garner publicity? After Musk's presentation of the Optimus robot, many companies realized how to become internet stars overnight. The robot is 5'9", 177 centimeters tall, and weighs 114 pounds, which is 52 kilos. It has 21 degrees of freedom and a curved OLED module to display real-time interactive information. Speaking about their motivation to create the robot, Xiaomi representatives said, quote, "We are working on replacing human labor with humanoid robots, although there is a long way to go before that happens. The second reason is that we believe that humanoid robots are the most technically sophisticated of all forms of robots. By working on them, we can also use this technology to solve the problems of other machines, such as four-legged robots, robotic arms, and even wheeled robots." I'm getting Lex Luthor vibes when I hear people talk like that. What do you guys think? Are we on the same page here, or should I just take a chill pill? Unitree, on the other hand, took the opposite route. After taking some of their tech for a spin using robot dogs, they've taken a swing at a droid. The H1 robot is 6 feet tall, which is 182 centimeters, and weighs 100 pounds, 47 kilos. The machine is equipped with a high-torque articulated motor and gearing developed by Unitree. A depth camera and a 3D LiDAR sensor help the robot perceive its environment. No official release date for the robot as of yet. However, some reports suggest that it should be available in the next 3 to 10 years and will cost less than $90,000. Wow, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when they held that meeting for their shareholders. Moving on, another Chinese giant, Xpeng, unveiled the PX5 humanoid bot. With its ability to maintain its balance, the robot can easily navigate different terrains such as lawns and gravel. What's more, PX5 is good at dynamics. It can play soccer and even ride a Segway. The PX5 also has a human gait, without that squatting thing that most robots do. Its arms are pretty functional as well. They can pour you a glass of water or hand you an Xbox controller, all the while lifting up to 6 pounds, 3 kilos each. Xpeng says the robot is going to hit the shelves only next year, probably because they're still busy putting the PX5 through P90X. Phoenix is the next droid on our radar. Sanctuary AI is soon to release its 6th generation bot, this time with actual legs. Earlier versions of the robot were test drives for operational techniques and tweaks to Carbon AI software. The idea is that the developers first show the robot how to perform this or that task, then it learns how to do it on its own and tries to generalize and transfer its experience to similar actions. There's still a lot of work to be done, but this seems like exactly the kind of path that could make the robot truly versatile. And given the importance that Sanctuary AI has placed on the tactile sensations and capabilities of the robot, perhaps Phoenix will be the embodiment of robots to come. But can it rise from the ashes? I really don't know how much more ambitious one can get about developing a universal humanoid robot, and then there's Figure AI. Brett Adcock, am I pronouncing that correctly, is the founder of Figure AI and has $70 million of investments up his sleeve. He previously successfully launched human resources platform Vettery, as well as a vertical takeoff and landing electric aircraft startup, Archer Aviation. Of the recent things Adcock said about Figure AI is that it would develop and release a universal humanoid robot in a year, which came right after a similar announcement by Elon Musk. Although Musk said it would take him anywhere between 1 to 10 years to release the robot, Adcock is confident he can do it faster. Knock on wood. But I get why. It's the stellar team of engineers that Figure AI managed to cherry-pick from companies like Boston Dynamics, Toyota Research Institute, Agility Robotics, Google, and Apple. The startup recently showed off a real-life prototype of Figure 01. The robot, with the height and weight of an average human, walks like us using inertia and whole-body positioning. Its speed is about 3 feet per second, which is a meter per second, and that's pretty fast. The developers are keeping their cards close to their chest as to how the robot's trained. Judging from the evasive answers, though, we can conclude that both teleoperation and simulation training are used. The robot has humanoid arms, with the help of which it should soon learn to rearrange boxes and pick up individual items. From the technical specs, we know that the robot has a total of 41 degrees of freedom, cameras with a 360-degree view, and at the same time, the robot sees in the same way as Tesla. That is, it creates a small, three-dimensional simulation of the world and labels objects to know what they are. Since we've mentioned Musk, let's talk about the culprit behind the new boom of humanoid machines, Optimus. Musk's company recently shared the robot's progress. Thanks to the same advanced computer vision that the company uses in its full self-driving system, Tesla Bot can now pinpoint the location of its arms and legs just by looking at them. And we've already mentioned that this is extremely important for a robot to do. Tesla also claims that this self-calibration system helps the robot learn new tasks more efficiently. The latest video of the robot demonstrating its operational skills showed the robot's smooth, precise, and very confident movements. Optimus also demonstrates a leisurely walk and impressive balance. The developers reported that the robot's neural network has undergone end-to-end training. The input is video, the output is parameter settings, and in general, progress is in sight. And out of all the mentioned goals, the most unattainable one for Tesla Bot today is probably the price of $20,000. What do you guys think about Optimus? Leave a comment below. Finally, on to Atlas Robot from Boston Dynamics, probably the most famous robot in the world thanks to its incredible dexterity. They created a veritable, vast library of movements available to the robot. By sensing its body in real time and seeing the immediate space in front of it, the robot instantly selects a combination of movements from the library that help it achieve its goals, such as jumping on boxes or doing a somersault. Atlas is developing rapidly, with developers test driving more and more tech on it. Boston Dynamics admits that today it's a lot easier to teach the robot new skills, but do not reveal the methods of its tutoring. However, given the recent foundation of Boston Dynamics Institute of Artificial Intelligence, we do not exclude the possibility that one day Atlas will acquire not only incredible physical capabilities, but also the intelligence that will make it a truly useful and versatile robot. Can't wait for BattleBots 24. We have just scraped the surface off the tip of the iceberg. To delve deep into all things robotics and AI, subscribe to the channel, check out our Telegram, and if you want to get something off your chest, shoot us a message. Until next time, bye-bye. How often do you feel like you don't have time to keep up with the news? Every day, the feed is abuzz with new headlines, but how many of them are actually worthwhile? Lately, everyone's practically obsessed with ChatGPT. But besides creating super smart AI, scientists are making global discoveries every year. In their work, they encounter mysteries of nature, serious diseases, climate change, and more. In this episode, we have collected 15 shocking discoveries that can change our world today. Artificial intelligence that reads minds, a chip in the brain that seems to do magic, resurrection of extinct species, new unexplored galaxies, brain patches, and much, much more. I'm Nick. Let's get it. But first, in our previous videos, we got the hint you guys love raffles, so this time we're giving away another $50 gift card to the ones who are lucky enough to be chosen by YouTube Random Comment Picker. If you want to find out how you can participate in the giveaway, watch this video to the end. Alright, and now, let's get it. Scientists are learning how to repair damage in the brain. Researchers from the US and China have grown organoids of human brain neurons and transplanted them into the visual cortex of rats. The traumatized rodents had vision problems, but the organoids took root. Within 3 months, they had grown into the animals' brains. Human neurons connected to the visual neurons of rats and began to respond to light stimuli that has acquired specific functions of the visual cortex. Whether the scientists were actually able to fully restore the rodent's vision remains unclear. Abundant testing is still ahead, but the very fact that the nerve tissue could potentially restore the damaged brain gives medicine a run for its money. The authors plan to use these organoids in other areas of the brain, not just the visual cortex. What if it was possible to not only repair damaged brain, but also, for example, enhance your brain capabilities? If you had to choose, what brain functions would you improve? Mind reading is no longer something unusual. Now we can easily see into another person's head thanks to artificial intelligence. Functional magnetic resonance imaging is a tool that allows us to record the activity of the human brain. By looking at these images, neuroscientists can learn what areas of a person's brain have been engaged, but they can't see what they were thinking about. This was the case until recently, when two experts from Osaka University in Japan decided to combine tomography with AI. A neural network converts brain activity data and generates images of thoughts. Scientists claim that in the future this discovery will help people who have lost their ability to speak. Yeah. Sure, that's the main purpose of the research, Osaka University. It's a good idea, but I'm thinking more tracking and controlling thoughts, just like Orwell predicted. Agree or disagree? Share your comments below. Remember the British TV show Fortitude? Well, apparently the scientists liked it too and started putting this plot into action. Why else would they revive a worm that has spent 42,000 years in permafrost? A nematode, that's what these creatures are called, froze in a gopher hole when mankind entered the late Paleolithic era. This is an absolute world record. To realize it, scientists had to study hundreds of samples of permafrost soil extracted in eastern Siberia. But finally, their labors were graced with a reward. To date, this is a unique case of obtaining viable samples of invertebrate animals that have lain in a preserved state for almost ever. The discovery will spur a major study of other frozen creatures, and there's only one tiny drawback, or suggestion, if you will. Instead of trying to resurrect amoebas of the past with potentially disastrous consequences, how about fixing what's already here first? What do you guys think? This past year has been amazing for diversity of humanoid robots, and we're not talking about gender fluidity. Developers are pushing not only to make the model stronger, but also to introduce artificial intelligence, which makes the bots more versatile. For example, Google DeepMind announced Robotics Transformer 2, the first visual language and action model. This model can understand both text and images. The user can give the robot a simple command such as throw out the trash, and the robot will know what to do even if it has never executed this command before. Just don't point at your spouse when you ask it to do it. Another example, research students from Stanford University worked with Google DeepMind to create an open source robot called Mobile Alpha. It's a bulky, wheel-based design with a 12-hour battery, laptop, overhead camera, and robotic arms with claws. It doesn't look particularly amazing, but this tech is capable of performing a variety of tasks that robots couldn't do before. For example, frying chicken or covering someone with a blanket. The mobile robot learns by repeating the actions of a human with special controllers in his hands. 50 repetitions are enough to reach a task accuracy level of 90%. This means that you can keep training the robot to improve its skills. It quickly learns new commands, which allows you to teach it to perform almost any everyday task. The company Figure is also actively mastering a new method of learning. Their robot O1 is capable of autonomously repeating human actions. At the demonstration, it had to brew coffee. To learn a new skill, the robot spent 10 hours studying a corresponding video. The algorithm is stored in the library as a new skill and can be easily transferred to another robot. Compared to the success of Mobile Alpha, Figure's robot seems a little less impressive. But that's just the beginning. Now, to teach a robot a command, you just need to show it what to do. It's too early to make any predictions, but perhaps this year we'll see a rapid leap and come one giant step closer to all the cyberpunk we've been shown in all the movies from before. Yay or nay? Energy issues remain a pressing matter for mankind. American startup Last Energy aims to revolutionize the nuclear industry through standardization. The company builds small modular reactors capable of generating enough electricity to power individual factories or small residential neighborhoods. Inside a 30 by 30 feet building, or 9 by 9 meters, sits a 20 megawatt water and pressurized reactor. Each plant has a lifespan of about 40 years. Now my question is, what do you do with it after? Recycle? Chinese scientists have created a battery that does not require charging and can work for several decades. The Betavolt company has presented a prototype of a compact atomic battery measuring 0.6 by 0.2 inches or 15 by 5 millimeters. The creators claim that the small device is capable of generating 3 volts without downtime for 50 years. Remember Tony Stark's generator? So the Chinese development is much smaller but stands tall in terms of power, and unlike Tony Stark's generator, you can actually fit it in your pocket. To date, the power of the device is 100 microwatts, but the creators plan to increase it to a whole watt. Beta-Volt's atomic batteries can meet long-term power needs in a variety of applications such as aerospace, artificial intelligence equipment, medical devices, and more. This is what the company said in their press release. It's possible that this invention will be the key to solving the energy crisis. The invention is undergoing pilot tests as we speak. Scientists say that after testing, mass production will be launched for phones and drones. Imagine having the same phone for 40 years. Late last year, scientists announced the creation of the world's first neuromorphic supercomputer. This is a monumental achievement that has the potential to change the future of AI, computing, and our understanding of the human brain. Deep South Computer, as it's called, is capable of mimicking neural networks of the human brain, performing 228 billion synaptic operations per second, at a time when the brain's fastest synaptic transmission takes about 1 millisecond. The development of the computer was led by the International Center for Neuromorphic Systems in Australia, out of all places. The scientists' goal was to overcome a hurdle in brain science and artificial intelligence by mimicking the enormous scale of human neural networks. In addition to speed, Deep South is notable for its efficiency. Neuromorphic chips require less power compared to traditional supercomputers. The computer uses off-the-shelf commercial components, making it very affordable. It's a simple yet reliable technique for use in data centers around the world. Another distinguishing feature of the computer is its flexibility. Experts can customize the machine into different neural architectures. Already, some experts claim that Deep South could be a breakthrough in the field of creating general artificial intelligence, and as we know, that's the Holy Grail. To date, Frontier is the world's first exascale computer, meaning it can perform more than 1 quintillion calculations per second. It has about 48,000 different processors altogether. All elements are connected by nearly 34 miles or 56 kilometers of network cable alone, forming a single computer. The memory capacity is 700 petabytes, which you have to multiply by 1,000 if you want the terabyte size. Scientists note that this is the first supercomputer in history to overcome the barrier of exascale. This means that it's capable of performing more than 1 trillion 10 to the 18th power operations per second. In addition, Frontier is the fastest artificial intelligence system. The developers unveiled the machine in the summer of 2022. Technology immediately took first place in the list of 500 most powerful supercomputers. In its first year, Frontier helped scientists to model a galaxy similar to the Milky Way, as well as a new type of jet engine architecture that can rapidly reduce carbon dioxide emissions. The international team, which included experts with the Frontier computer, won the ACM Gordon Bell Award for modeling particles in cells on supercomputers. The successful supercomputer result was a big step towards a new era in modeling laser-plasma interactions, which, if you're familiar with, then please let me know in the comments what that actually means. The James Webb Telescope has cast doubt on the Big Bang Theory. Oh no! Were scientists wrong about the origin of the universe all along? To date, James Webb is the largest space telescope. Its area is larger than that of the Hubble telescope with 215 square feet or 20 square meters, and its mirror diameter spanning 13 feet or 4 meters. James Webb collects much more light and sees the most distant and removed objects than any of its predecessors. In 2023, photos from the telescope caused astonishment in the astronomical community. The press immediately dubbed this discovery as the crisis of modern cosmology. The established theory states that first stars began to ignite 550 million years after the Big Bang. Then they needed to form galaxies in the centers of which black holes should have formed. That's a long process, folks. So finding galaxies 500 million years old from the Big Bang is a challenge. Hypotheses began to emerge about how to rescue the current theory of cosmology, which otherwise answers all the questions. At the moment, scientists have agreed that the found galaxies may be the result of the process of inflation, that is super fast, faster than the speed of light even, expansion of our world in the first moments of its existence. To completely disprove the standard theory of cosmology will take time to build a telescope even more powerful than James Webb that will be able to capture the spectrum of distant galaxies. The diameter of its lens would probably have to be the size of a basketball court. Only then will mankind know the truth. Scientists have used AI to get a paralyzed patient back on his feet. Neurobiologists and neurosurgeons from the Federal Polytechnic School of Lausanne in Switzerland and the University of Grenoble-Alpes in France have used a neuro interface to restore the ability to walk to a man paralyzed after a spinal cord injury. A Dutchman, Gert-Jan Oskarn, who was unable to walk for over 10 years now due to an accident, had implants implanted in his brain and spine. Holes about 2 inches or 5 centimeters in diameter were cut in the patient's skull on both sides above the areas of the brain involved in controlling movement. They inserted 2 disc-shaped implants that pick up and wirelessly transmit brain signals to 2 sensors attached to a helmet. Thus, scientists have created a virtual bridge between the organs of a human body and a computer. The algorithm developed by the specialist translates the received signals from the brain into instructions for movement of the leg and foot muscles, with the help of a second implant connected to the spinal cord. And after 40 rehabilitation sessions using this technology, Gert-Jan was able to regain his ability to move. He was able to control his hips and feet. Eventually, after a course of rehabilitation using the interface, the man who had been bedridden for 12 years was able to walk short distances with the help of crutches. Research results look promising, and this is just the beginning. If technology has been able to restore the ability to walk in a paralyzed man, what results could be achieved in people with minor injuries? So far, scientists are in no hurry to massively use the neuro interface for rehabilitation. More clinical trials will be needed, they say, but it's certainly a medical breakthrough. In the spring of 2023, Chinese scientists from Sun Yat-sen University in Guangzhou found an antidote to the world's deadliest mushroom. Statistics show that 90% of mushroom-eating deaths involve Amanita phalloides, simply put, toadstool. The peptide contained in this mushroom leads to liver and kidney failure. Scientists asked a neural network to find a molecule used on humans in drugs that could counteract the poison. The neural network pointed to indocyanine green. This dye is used to determine cardiac output, liver function, blood flow in the liver and stomach. The substance is able to block the toxic effects of the toadstool. Death from the poison occurs after a short period of time, a day or two, depending on the person's health. Scientists have found that if an antidote is administered in the first 4 hours after poisoning, it will stop liver damage and protect against the toxin. We don't yet know the exact dates when the drug will hit the market. I wonder if it will be possible to buy the antidote at the nearest pharmacy to the forest, or if the discovery is only good in theory. But my biggest question is, how did they test this out? In 2023, Google and Huawei unveiled groundbreaking AI-based weather prediction innovations. GraphCast and Pangu Weather AI models find patterns in past data to predict weather up to 10 days in advance. They do this faster and require less power to operate than traditional methods. The GraphCast model competed with the European Center for Medium-Term Weather Forecasts, which is considered the gold standard system. As a result, it turned out that in some cases the forecast from GraphCast was 99.7% more accurate. Specialists in Google said that the system is able to predict extreme weather events even before their first signs. For example, the GraphCast model was able to more accurately predict Hurricane Lee, which was moving towards Nova Scotia. The AI reported it 3 days earlier than traditional meteorological models. Check out our video of top 10 industries where AI is already raking in big bucks, found in the description below. Remember the plot of the cartoon WALL-E? Saving his beloved, the little robot finds himself on a spaceship. The people there are overweight and use special chairs to move around the ship. According to the International Obesity Federation report, in 2023, almost 40% of the world's population was overweight or obese. Therefore, news of a cure for this disease seems as grandiose as news of a cure for cancer. Although a caloric deficit and fasted high-intensity interval training seem to be doing just fine for some, there's this little gem. GLP-1 against obesity is an effective and safe therapy that can reduce the risks of heart disorders and strokes. The drugs are created based on the glucagon-like peptide 1. They've passed all clinical trials and have appeared on the pharmaceutical market several years ago. Initially, the drugs were developed for the treatment of diabetes, but in the process of clinical trials, it turned out that the drugs caused significant weight loss. Now they're being used on a massive scale. One such drug, Wegovy, helped Elon Musk to lose weight and look ripped. The main disadvantage of this drug is obviously dependence. To get and maintain the result, you need to constantly take this medication. Here it is worth considering the high cost and individual side effects in the form of nausea and various allergies. So the magic pill has its disadvantages as well and will not solve the problem with excess weight once and for all. Would you be okay with shooting up with this thing every day just to look ripped? In China's Shantou University, a group of scientists presented an innovative microscope controlled by artificial intelligence. This microscope is said to revolutionize malaria diagnosis in resource-limited regions of Africa and Asia. Today, a vaccine for the disease already exists and is actively used, but traditional methods of diagnosis are outdated. Until now, trained specialists manually counted parasites and white blood cells. With a shortage of doctors and a large number of infected people, this is critical. AI technology and a microscope can automatically detect malaria parasites in real time and count white blood cells within minutes. In recent years, Africa has become a testing ground for new technologies. In 2022, Rwanda became the first nation in the world to use drones to deliver blood and essential medicines to rural hospitals. The breakthrough came after an agreement was reached between the government and the U.S. manufacturer Zipline. Kayonza has 10 drones at its center, each flying up to 14 times a day and delivering valuable supplies to 5 rural hospitals and 3 health centers in eastern Rwanda. Let's see how that goes. We got fingers crossed. Mankind continues to find mysteries in our own universe. Mercury shares an orbit around the Sun with a ring of dust millions and millions of miles or kilometers long. Where it could have come from is unknown. Scientists are surprised by the number of particles that are near the Sun, where the environment is somewhat aggressive. The ring itself was discovered 5 years ago, but in 2023, details came piling up. The mass of the ring, if you collect all the fine visible particles, is about the same size as an asteroid with a diameter of a mile or 1.5 kilometers. This so far disproves the hypothesis of material ejected from Mercury's surface. New measurements have shown that all the bodies falling on the planet could not have pushed so many particles outward. Recently, the Bepi-Colombo probe caught up with the planet, which provided a lot of new data. Perhaps the mystery of the dust ring will be solved in the near future. Two British mathematicians have analyzed the national lottery and figured out how many tickets you need to buy to be guaranteed winner. Previously, these scientists have done work in combinatorics and discrete mathematics. This new gig involves a lottery where a person buys a ticket and chooses numbers between 1 and 59. The order of the numbers then is chosen at random. The player gets a prize if the numbers match the chosen values from 2 and up. There's a total of 46 million combinations to this. Mathematicians found that players need to buy a minimum of only 27 tickets, which to me seems oddly small. Researchers say, however, that the chances of making a profit are very small and should not be used as a reason to gamble. When the theory was tested in the July 1st, 2023 lottery, the men were only able to guess 2 values in 3 tickets. But the study went viral on the internet. Ordinary people conducted experiments and tested the theory through personal experience, fueling interest in the mathematical theory of the message about a married couple who won almost £2,000. At the same time, the spouses said they spent less than £60 on a ticket. No word from those unfortunate ones yet, though. But judging by the fact that the National Lottery did not change its rules, the number of winners has probably not really increased. That's it, folks. These interesting and sometimes frightening discoveries were made last year, and they keep coming. Our team is confident that 2024 will amaze us even more. New discoveries and inventions are ahead, so subscribe to stay tuned for more updates from the world of high tech.
Check this out: artificial hearts, robotic clothing, world's largest microchip, and more. The Time published a list of the best inventions of 2024, and we took the liberty of cosplaying the magazine and are now publishing our own list of 25 incredible gizmos that'll completely reorganize your life. Let's get it. Riddle me this, folks. No chambers, no valves, but the blood is still pumping. Why, it's Bivacor's mechanical heart. At least 3 patients in the US are now proud customers of the company. Bivacor invented their unique pump design with just one moving part, a double-sided rotor on a magnetic suspension. And that's how you create a metal heart. It consists of a single part, is frictionless, and doesn't fatigue. At the same time, it does the job well even in adult males during workouts. However, right now Bivacor is used only temporarily, while patients with heart failure are waiting for an organ donor. But it works, and the developers hope to finalize and prove the possibility of using their mechanical heart as a full-fledged replacement for the real one. So with a chip in the brain and a piece of iron in the chest, Altered Carbon is destined for Season 3, but in reality. Talking about chips, Sam Altman can't stop, won't stop with advanced AI already. He talks about it like the second coming of Christ, or the Antichrist for that matter. Everything's already in place for it, he says, we just need more calculations. And Cerebrus Systems is proposing to use its world's largest microchip to solve for AGI. The wafer scale Engine 3 is the size of a dinner plate and includes both memory and logic. It's record fast and can train models 10 times larger than GPT-4. And its silicon wafer houses 4 trillion transistors. Move over, NVIDIA. This is the real deal right here. Universal AI may be closer than we think, and if it doesn't consider us dust in the wind, then it could potentially do a lot of good. Is it possible to invent cures for all diseases? In 2022, Google DeepMind's AlphaFold 2 learned to predict the structure of almost every known protein. This year, AlphaFold 3 was able to predict how proteins interact with our DNA and other molecules. Artificial intelligence presents everything in the form of animations, helping us understand, among other things, how our immune system works and how it interacts with viruses, such as the recent big bad bat one. This should speed up research and drug discovery. On the other hand, this tech could quote-unquote discover new viruses. But then, if we get locked up at home again and survive, some other AI will help us cope with stress and loneliness. Sigh. Introducing the Riz AI. It uses a specially trained version of GPT that'll teach you how to chat with people you like. This technology works by analyzing your conversations. That is, chat anywhere, take a screenshot, shoot it to Riz. It'll tell you how to start or maintain a conversation, how to answer difficult questions, even alert you when it's time to set up a meeting or where you can offer to go to a particular person. Sounds like every introvert's dream come true. The next AI of the year, according to the Time magazine, was the Runway Gen 3 Alpha. It's capable of creating 10-second video clips on cue from text, image, or another video. The AI, which has independently learned 3D dynamics, creates near photorealistic results and is constantly evolving. The model recently got a new Act 1 feature to create subtle facial expressions and keep characters consistent in animation. So now, using actors to capture their facial movement isn't all that necessary. Models like this are changing the world of movies and animation. Developers say that artists now have more tools, but are silent about the fact that actors now have less and less work. By the way, Hollywood stars look at the use of their digital copies and avatars really differently. So Brad Pitt is not at all against this approach, and Robert Downey Jr. has already instructed his lawyers to pursue any movie company that will try to revive him in the movies even after 100 years. And this invention isn't for entertainment, it's for work. Brilliant Ultra Reality is a desktop monitor that projects a 122-inch image providing a 110-degree field of view. It's like being in virtual reality, only without the gadgets on your head that might give you a slight headache. This powerful computing system is capable of changing the optical depth of an image and realigning the angle of light across each pixel. And all that in 4K, just like IMAX. The company claims to have made over $2 million in sales, mostly in defense and car industries. Would you want a work monitor like this for yourself? Zoom calls are going to be spectacular, as if you were sitting at the same table with your boss. And to always look good there, the next gadget will come in handy. This is the Loom Precision Eyelash Extension Robot. Yes, technology is infiltrating the beauty industry in a big way. The robot uses machine learning and soft, safe tools to do in half an hour what it takes a real person like half a day. The machine has already performed 160,000 jobs, and I wonder how many of those were 5D. But if beauty treatments is not your cup of joe, then this next invention on the Time magazine list will definitely cause a ruckus. The Segway Go-Kart Pro 2 is 3 products in one. You can race it around the track and then take it home and connect it to your game console or PC. And there you have the coolest gadget for racing simulators. Additional speakers generate the roar of the engines, and haptic feedback lets you feel the realistic shaking of the car on the track. But that's not all. Detach the motor and rear wheel and you've got the self-balancing scooter on which Segway built its brand. Now that's a transformer. What could be more valuable than your own health? Withings BMO gadget developers seem to have been asking the same question. 4 BMO sensors get you a quick checkup if you suddenly feel unwell or resemble Melman from Madagascar. Withings BMO makes sure you stay under 100 Fahrenheit or 38 centigrade, listens to your lungs, scans your heart, and even checks your blood oxygen levels. Basically, everything you need to know to reassure yourself, or on the contrary, urgently go to the doctor. In the unfortunate case you're an even bigger hypochondriac than that, there's other gadgets. Stay tuned. Toy Lab's Trulu Artificial Intelligence Toilet Seat. Fortunately, it's not equipped with GPT and will not talk to you during the process. Instead, the gadget optically scans your stool and urine for alarming changes. Trulu is already in use in more than 50 nursing homes, sending alerts to staff at these facilities. But the developers are already planning to release the app for home use. In doing so, without too much modesty, they compare their gadget to a team of doctors who can look into your toilet bowl every day. Moving on, this robot looks like an ordinary robotic lawnmower. So why is it on here? Well, it's all about the fact that the Momotion Luba 2 all-wheel drive doesn't have any boundary wires. You can finally just let it out and it will build its own map, bypass obstacles, and do what a lawnmower does. All thanks to the use of GPS, cameras, ultrasonic radar, and 3D vision. Want to have a neat lawn? Then get everything. Want Luba to crop out hello in Times New Roman? You got it. That's how robots should work, so that humans don't have to worry about anything at all. Don't you agree? Your imagination can take you anywhere with Luba. What thoughts do you have when you see a treadmill for wheelchair users? It seems strange, but it's not. In fact, many people who have lost the ability to walk have not lost their taste for exercise at all. And Kangster's Wheelie X allows you not just to overcome racetracks at home, but also to strengthen your arm muscles, coordination, and ability to control the stroller. And Kangster's Wheelie X allows you not just to overcome racetracks at home, but also to strengthen your arm muscles, coordination, and ability to control whatever it is you need. And also do sit-in yoga. All this with the support of a fitness trainer app. This thingamajig was developed by John Cho, whose father was paralyzed from the waist down. Cho says that thanks to Wheelie X, his father is now strong enough to climb a steep hill and move from chair to his bed without assistance. Incidentally, the system was introduced at the 2024 Paralympic Games. Apple is also trying to muscle into healthcare. The company said that AirPods Pro 2 can now also be used as hearing aids. The FDA has already approved a software update that allows clinical hearing tests to be performed on the iPhones. And if the test determines that you have mild to moderate hearing loss, the same software coupled with the Apple Health app will allow you to adjust the level of sound amplification in the AirPods. It looks viable and not as cringeworthy as Apple's earlier idea to teach its headphones to read users' thoughts from brain signals. Why was that idea questionable? Primarily because of doubts about the accuracy of capturing the signals and the very big data privacy issue. Here's a conundrum for you. Robotic clothing. Arc'teryx Equipment and Skip, an offshoot of Google X's labs, have teamed up to create MoGo. These are comfortable hiking pants that feature lightweight electric motors on the knees. The system is attached to carbon fiber structures that snap onto 4 adjustable carbon fiber cuffs inside the pants. All mechanics can be removed for washing, and basically it's a battery-powered exoskeleton that will allow you to hike farther up in the mountains and be less tired. Like 40% less, or so they say. And you'll also feel unusually light when climbing, as if you dropped quite a few pounds or kilos. Users say it feels divine. What do you think of this? Let us know in the comments. And by the way, a lot of people think that they know how to use AI. For example, ChatGPT. Piece of cake, right? Well, in reality, we don't even use 10% of their capabilities because we don't know how to. That's why AI startup Typeface has released a ready-made tool for marketers called the Arc. It doesn't just generate a single blog post or an email. It uses a variety of large language models to help organize entire ad campaigns. You just have to share your goals with the Arc and it will generate content for email, text messages, and other segments based on customer data after analyzing all your old campaigns. Of course, it will help marketers, but we, regular users, may face an even bigger wave of telemarketers. God help us. Now this is a real breakthrough for the benefit of mankind. Vertex Pharmaceuticals and CRISPR Therapeutics Casgevy proved their advanced gene therapy is 93.5% effective in controlling pain crises and sickle cell anemia. Only $1.50 shy from 5% significance, you statisticians. Scientists identified what might affect pain crises, edited patients' hematopoietic stem cells outside their bodies, and planted them back in. It worked, and that's just the beginning. The possibilities of CRISPR gene editing are much broader. Like this video if you want to learn more about this miracle piece of tech. And this invention is available to everyone right now. The Magic AI Mirror is a designer mirror with AI that can replace a personal trainer. Using computer vision, the gadget will compile a personalized program from its database of 400 exercises and narrate it to you with one of 25 celebrity avatars as a trainer. What's more, Magic AI Mirror will track your exercise technique and correct it for perfect form. It will also give you lots of useful tips. Brings me back to the Future, just like this next invention. Advanced vision like in sci-fi movies. That's what Amplio from Unify Medical is all about. These digital lenses basically let you wear a microscope on your eyes. It wouldn't be the 21st century if it didn't also let you record video. But even that's not enough. Unify has received millions of dollars from the US government to implement additional features. For example, night vision or fluorescence imaging that tells surgeons where to chop. Here's a rhetorical one. When we got calculators, we forgot how to count. When we got GPS, we forgot streets. Wouldn't surgeons lose their skills if they were told where to cut? Especially since there are more and more robots that perform operations themselves. For example, Simani Surgical Systems microsurgery robot. In April of this year, it became the first robot of this class to receive FDA approval. The system can not only operate but also does it with incredible accuracy, as it can compensate for even the natural shaking of the human body. But the most interesting thing is that soon the robot will receive its package of artificial intelligence, which will allow it to independently perform standard elements of surgery, such as stitching arteries after incisions. By the way, in Europe, Simani has already performed over 1,000 surgeries. What do you dream of after a hard day's work? A quality, relaxing massage, perhaps. Now, it can be performed by a robot, but not a simple one. This little guy, Escape. These robotic arms know exactly what they're doing. Thanks to machine learning and features such as full body scanning, the robot is able to create an individualized massage plan for each patient. What's more, if you want to change something, the robot can be customized via the touchscreen display. The amount of pressure, focus on a certain area, background music, anything and everything can be changed with Escape. The hardest working robot in 2024 is Digit from Agility Robotics. Of course, we're talking about the segment of humanoid robots here, not industrial robots that have been toiling away in factories for decades. But among the humanoid ones, Digit became the first robot to get paid for its work, laboring in the warehouses of companies like GXO and Amazon. Interesting fact, the break-even point of the robot is now 2 years of factory work. But the best humanoid robot, according to the Time magazine, was Figure 02. Since its inception, much of the media has praised Brad Adcock's endeavor and remains loyal to this day. Major investors such as OpenAI, Microsoft, and Nvidia have decided to bet on Figure. This year, the robot was tested at a BMW plant in South Carolina, where it stacked parts on an assembly line. The company doesn't share details about the robot's development or features, so why exactly is the Figure 02 the best robot of the year? Why not Optimus from Tesla or New Atlas from Boston Dynamics? Apparently, Time experts are confused by Musk's controversial reputation and Boston Dynamics' famous commitment to science over commerce. But personally, we're voting for the Atlas robot for 3 reasons at once. The first is that the company has already brought to market a sophisticated robotic commercial product, the Spot robot, and that experience is invaluable. The second is that the company recently teamed up with the Toyota Research Institute to teach the robot to quickly learn a variety of tasks. And the third is that Boston Dynamics is simply a legend. And if it does something, you can be certain of the quality of the product. But that's just our 2 cents. What do you guys think? Which robot do you think is the best this year? Guess what Hero MotoCorp spent 4 years working on? One of the biggest two-wheeler manufacturers in the world with registered 40 design patents made this. Meet Surge S32, a transformer. During traffic jams, it's a motorcycle, and the rest of the time, a practical mini truck on 3 wheels. Developers claim that people call their work Batmobile, maybe if Batman was broke, but an interesting concept nevertheless. And here's what you get if the design of a motorhome is handled by someone who worked on the latest generations of iPhones at Apple, as well as drones at Zoox and Cruise. The Pebble Flow, designed by Brigham Young, is a sleek, all-electric, semi-autonomous traveler trailer. Inside, you'll find a modern Scandinavian design with an electric stove, a full-size fridge, and a bathtub for people with a voyeur fetish, since the walls become transparent to enjoy the scenery. By the way, developers claim that the PebbleFlow's 45 kilowatt-hour battery stores 3.5 times more energy than the Tesla Powerwall. This, among other things, allows you to recharge gadgets such as an iPad that lets the driver control a bunch of things inside, including docking and stabilization. A real dream for those who love freedom. There's obviously more, but we're out of time, so let us know in the comments which gadget impressed you the most. Like our videos and check out our Instagram for more from the world of high tech. All links in the description.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs in the future that a robot won't do better than humans, asserts Elon Musk. Tech leaders, top managers, and analysts, and millions of people around the world concur. The changes that are inevitable will bring not only humanoid robots, which we imagine as being the future. A more rapid but less visible revolution has already actually taken place, and that is the revolution of artificial intelligence. No, it hasn't reached the level of superintelligence just yet, but much more importantly, for everyday life and business, it has become accessible. And this allows you to use it not only for entertainment, but also for business. I'm Nick, and today we talk about the top 10 industries where AI is already making bank. Medicine is a field where a single mistake can lead to unfortunate consequences. In 2016, Johns Hopkins University published a study on the causes of death in America. Medical malpractice came in third place, with only cancer and heart disease standing taller. Most medical errors are associated with incorrect or untimely diagnosis. It shouldn't come as a surprise that as soon as AI became smart enough, it was immediately applied to cancer diagnosis, mammogram, and X-ray analysis. Doctors first started using the new technology en masse during the pandemic. Then artificial intelligence detected cases of COVID-19 by analyzing chest X-rays. This helped doctors in sorting out checkup tests and significantly sped up their work. Replacing doctors with robots or artificial intelligence won't work completely, and at least not yet. But nurses and orderlies? It might. Early last year, a French company, Enchanted Tools, unveiled Miroki and Miroka, specifically designed for hospital use. The robots, with pointy ears and expressive cat faces, meow, are capable of pulling carts and carrying trays. But in the future, they will gain artificial intelligence that will make them fully autonomous hospital assistants with a wide range of tasks. As for me personally though, if I ever wake up in a hospital bed, I'd want to see Ann Perkins.
Hey.
Oh. Earlier we told you that ChatGPT has become as popular as sliced bread. The emergence of such a neural network was the impetus of robotization in the workplace. Now, companies are abandoning human labor and assigning tasks to a bot. For example, the management of a tech blog Gizmodo fired half of their employees who were working on the Spanish version of the site. Instead, they used an AI that translates articles from English to Spanish. The latest high-profile case of mass layoffs involves the largest language learning app, Duolingo. Former employees claimed that all translators were replaced by a neural network. Later, the company representatives denied this, explaining that some just had their work contracts expired. For this reason, people left the company. But representatives of Duolingo did not deny the use of artificial intelligence as translators. Prior to the incident, the company reported about joining efforts with GPT-4. The founder of the language learning app, Louis von Anna, admired the neural network and often mentioned its benefits for business. But language learning itself may also become irrelevant in the future. For example, at the Consumer Electronics Show this year, Time Kettle unveiled the X1 Interpreter Hub, an innovative device that can simultaneously translate multiple languages. The developers call it the world's first multilingual simultaneous translation system. Remember the Babelfish from Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy? This is pretty much it. By the way, a review of the largest exhibition of robots and technology is already available on our channel, and we're talking about Consumer Electronics Show of 2024. Check out the link in the description below. We're used to hearing on the news about robots that do work in dangerous industries that are dangerous, but they're all programmed to do certain things, which limits their use. However, as we detailed in our previous video, also found in the description below, there is about to be a revolution in robot training that will make them truly intelligent and versatile. And once that happens, hundreds of robots, like the Tesla bot and its Chinese counterparts, which are popping up like mushrooms after rain, will enter areas of factories and warehouses that have not yet been automated. By the way, Optimus' competitor, a robot from the startup Figure, has already taken a job at BMW factories. Recently, humanoid robots have been making rapid progress. Every company is trying to create a better replacement from humans and get ahead of the competition. Where will the total replacement of humans by robots lead to? No one really knows, but there's a sure way to get a feel for this. Post your comments below to let us know what you think is going to happen. Celebrities are selling a new service, a virtual doppelganger for filming. Many actors, athletes, influencers, and even OnlyFans models have a digital clone that carries the boring load, so to speak, such as participating in photo shoots. No wonder digital clones can communicate with fans instead of stars way faster and therefore turn a profit quicker. Porn star Riley Reid launched a special chatbot doppelganger last year where anyone can chat with her for $30 a month. This was followed by Clone AI, a platform with AI bots for several porn stars. Consulting firm Allied Market Research predicts the market for virtual humans will reach $440 billion by the year 2031. And Meta recently introduced 28 smart bots in beta format. The 15 chatbots were created using the appearance of living showbiz legends such as rapper Snoop Dogg, model Kendall Jenner, and socialite Paris Hilton. Each of these star bots has a different theme and a nickname that differs from the prototype's name. The company spent more than 6,000 hours training each bot, and the celebrities themselves were paid from $1 to $5 million USD for the right to use their digital clones. Where are they going to put them? In the metaverse or what? The role of brokers has changed significantly in recent years. They used to have to work with a lot of data, forecast market trends with all the risks taken into account. This was time-consuming, but with the advent of AI, work on Wall Street has accelerated. Now there is a large number of AI-based platforms that quickly process huge amounts of info, identify patterns and trends, giving brokers a competitive edge. For example, AlphaSense's platform provides users with information from a vast array of public and private content, including company reports, news, and more. It's also capable of providing market analysis in minutes. In 2023, AlphaSense became the top dog among similar programs. The company successfully raised another $150 million from existing investors, and its market cap grew from $1.7 billion to $2.5 billion US. AI has the potential to make travel planning easier. According to a study by Canadian marketers at Longwoods International, about a third of the country's population uses ChatGPT to plan vacations. Specifically for these customers, Expedia has launched a dialogue application based on ChatGPT. It compares the cost of hotels, tracks airfares and train prices, and helps book tickets. Large companies are actively using AI technology to offer customers the most suitable tours and optimize the booking process. In May of 2023, Make My Trip India signed an agreement with Microsoft to implement generative artificial intelligence technology developed by OpenAI. Thanks to this, it's now possible to communicate with the service by voice, both for booking and for getting personalized suggestions and recommendations. Interestingly, following the agreement, the company reported record quarterly sales earlier this year. Total bookings reached $2.1 billion, up 22%. And while correlation does not equal causation, this cannot be a mere coincidence. Technology is changing the service industry as well. No one is surprised by robot couriers, operators, and waiters. In Beijing's Haidilao hot pot restaurant, robots have been serving customers for years. And in America, large chain restaurants such as Chipotle have only now started using robotic servers and robot chefs to cook tortilla and deliver food to customers. Chipotle is also testing an automated ecosystem from Hyphen that uses smart dispensers to add toppings to plates or salads. We seem to be very close to the time when we can communicate with robots as if they are us. Engineers from the National Center for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence in the UK have unveiled the FurChat robot. The developers claim it's the first system that combines a large language model and a humanoid robot with an animated face. This technology is capable of verbal and non-verbal communication. The model was created specifically for human interaction. For example, the robot can perform the work of a social worker and become a companion for the elderly, as well as assisting in everyday tasks. The development team is currently testing FurChat as an administrator at their center. They're also considering using the robot in museums or festivals. AI allows people to try their hand at creativity and realize the craziest ideas. Around 2022, users began to actively master such neural networks as Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and DALL-E. At the same time, news feeds began to flourish with reports of AI victories and creative competitions. One notorious case took place in Colorado at a fine arts competition. Designer Jason Allen entered and won in the digital art category with a painting titled Space Opera Theater. The man received a prize of $300. Not bad, but then he took to social networks, where the designer decided to share and mentioned that the picture was generated with the help of Midjourney. A debate immediately erupted online about whether art can be created with a computer. Users split into two camps. Some resented Jason's use of AI. Quote, "It sucks for the same reason we don't let robots compete in the Olympics," wrote one Twitter user. Others rose to the author's defense. Typical internet free-for-all. Which group do you guys belong to? Can a designer use artificial intelligence as a tool for creativity? Let us know in the comments below. More than 10,000 law firms and departments of different companies use the Case Text Assistant. The assistant, which is based on artificial intelligence, helps to optimize their work. Case Text helps with documents and court cases, offers access to case law, statutes, rulings, and a powerful artificial intelligence search engine called Kara. It can be used to get quick and accurate answers. Users can create and organize their own search folders, comment on documents, and collaborate with colleagues. This smart assistant has been called a breakthrough in law. So who's the genius behind Case Text? Who should judicial legal staff thank? Jake Heller, a lawyer and founder of Case Text. He knows the job inside out. He started working as a student. Along with his career growth, grew the number of hours he spent at his laptop. Quote, "Sometimes I would sit at my computer at 2 or 3 a.m. and try to find a lead that could move a case forward in a big way. For example, a legal battle with a billion-dollar lawsuit or a trial where one precedent could decide whether a person would stay free or go to jail. It was a hell of a job. It was literally a matter of life and death, of making or breaking someone's dream." End quote. This is what he said in an interview. On one such evening, he picked up the phone to order food delivery. At that moment, the thought popped into his head. Quote, "We need to simplify the work so that finding a lead in a case is as easy as ordering food." End quote. And so began a long journey of 10 years. It started with a law library, a mix of Wikipedia and Reddit, and now it's an AI-powered virtual lawyer. In 2023, media company Thomson Reuters acquired Case Text for $650 million. Jake Heller, you're a GOAT, sir. Frightening news for bloggers and models alike. Now they can easily be replaced by a neural network. See this girl? That's a Spanish model, Aitana Lopez. Her Instagram account has more than 127,000 followers. Now, followers note that the beauty of the girl, her perfect facial features, and plump lips is absolutely exquisite. She has a zest that distinguishes her from her competitors. And that is also not a real person. She was generated by artificial intelligence. According to the Barcelona design agency that created her and supports her in her work, the AI model earns up to 10,000 euro a month. It's possible that at this rate, she will soon overtake one of the highest paid models, Kendall Jenner. Modeling agency The Clueless claimed that such models are more reliable and easier to work with. Ruben Cruz and Diana Nunes, co-founders of Clueless, recently said in an interview, quote, Fashion is trending towards robotization. Already some brands are realizing this and are leaning towards models created with artificial intelligence because of their efficiency in reducing cost and time. End quote. Yeah, no need to pay and wait till a model loses that extra half a pound, huh? It's true that it's too early to fully rely on AI. Neural networks are still capable of making mistakes, hallucinating, and sometimes getting lazy, or even refusing to perform the tasks that they were given. This most often happens when the AI is faced with ambiguous queries or topics that violate the limits set by the developers, whether it's preparing medical reports or writing fake comments on the internet. What's your countdown till our world is fully robotized? Or do you think that robots will forever remain just assistants? Let us know in the comments below. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Pro Robots channels for more news from the world of high tech. People have always sought to look beyond what they see and predict the future. Now, we have a unique chance. We are at a crossroads of accelerating change. It feels like tomorrow we'll wake up in a completely different reality. But what kind of world will it be? A utopia, like Spike Jonze's Her or Alex Proyas's I, Robot? Or an apocalypse, as in I Am Mother, directed by Grant Spooter? The risks we face are ginormous, but behind the pessimism about our future, there's proof that humanity can live forever. No one knows exactly what's next, but there are predictions from tech leaders and futurologists. In this video, we look at what will be the life of a human being combined with a super intelligent AI. Will it become part of the human personality? What will the future be like in 5 to 10 years? And how do modern companies fight aging? I'm Nick. Let's get it. American futurologist Ray Kurzweil has been working in the field of artificial intelligence longer than anyone else. He has devoted about 60 years to it. During this time, he has made many predictions that have actually come true. Despite the transformation of large language models that has taken place over the years, Ray believes that artificial intelligence will not reach human levels until 2029 at the earliest. Now see this chart? Ray Kurzweil noted the trajectory of technological progress from 1938 to 2023. Quote, "In those 80 years, there was a 20-fold increase in the speed of computers, but the speed at which it happened was the same." End quote. His colleague, Ben Herzl, best known as the creator of the robotic humanoid Sophia, suggests that AI will become smarter than humans even sooner. During his closing keynote at this year's beneficial AGI summit in Panama City, the scientist made it clear that there's a chance AI will reach human-level intelligence by 2027. Quote, "It seems quite likely to me that we could achieve human-level AI in, say, the next 3 to 8 years." End quote. Google DeepMind co-founders Shane Legg and Demis Hassabis disagreed on when general artificial intelligence would be created. Legg predicted a decade ago that artificial intelligence capable of performing human tasks would be invented by 2028. The researcher is still confident of this date, and his colleagues suggest that general artificial intelligence could be achieved by 2030. Godfather of AI and former Google employee Geoffrey Hinton said last year that it will take 5 to 20 years for general artificial intelligence to actually emerge. And CEO of OpenAI Sam Altman, when asked when general artificial intelligence will be created, suggested that plus minus 5 years. Quote, "I think one day we'll go to sleep with pretty good artificial intelligence, and then the next day we'll wake up with real super intelligence. But even if takeoff happens a year or a few years from now, in a sense, it's still fast. There's another question. Even if you get as powerful as AGI, how much does it change society the next day compared to the year before and the decades after that?" End quote. That's from the Logan Bartlett Show. And the scandalous Elon Musk is not afraid to make loud statements. The businessman claims that the capabilities of new artificial intelligence models will surpass human intelligence by the end of next year. But he adds that such progress is possible provided the supply of electricity and equipment that can meet the demands of increasingly powerful technologies. Last year, he predicted that full-on AGI will be achieved by 2029. Such a statement did not go unnoticed among influential experts. One of the godfathers of AI, Jan LeCun, recalled Musk's promise to launch Tesla's unmanned cars a couple of years ago. But we still don't have fully autonomous and reliable unmanned driving, even though we have millions of hours of trained, collected data. Quote, if we did, we'd have artificial intelligence systems that could learn to drive in 20 hours of practice like any 17-year-old would, end quote, from LeCun's Twitter/X. Not long ago, the scientist was a guest on Lex Friedman's podcast. We'll leave an excerpt from the conversation in our Telegram channel. Check it out. Pretty captivating stuff. Jan shared his thoughts on the creation of common AI. Will we soon have systems that can learn how the world works and internalize the right insights? It's going to be quite a long time before we get them to the scale and performance we see in humans. It's not going to happen overnight. Jan estimates that it will take decades and possibly more. The reason for this, existing problems that scientists do not notice now and have not encountered before. For the last 12 to 15 years, he has been surprised by the optimistic predictions of people who said AGI was just around the corner and were systematically wrong. But not everyone thinks general artificial intelligence is a good thing. The late great theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking warned that superintelligent AI could lead to an apocalypse. In 2014, Hawking told the BBC, quote, the development of full-blown artificial intelligence could mean the end of humanity. It will evolve on its own and will be redesigned at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, constrained by slow biological evolution, will be unable to compete and will be displaced, end quote. Imagine a future where every person has a nanochip embedded under their skin that creates a link between their brain and artificial intelligence systems. Can you imagine that? Ralph Epperson, with his book New World Order, should give you a good foundation. Check it out. But according to Kurzweil, by the early 2030s, human beings will have all the capabilities of a large language model inside their brains. The first steps is combining AI and the human brain are actually being taken by Elon Musk. In January this year, Neuralink officially implanted their device in a human. We talked about introducing neurocomputer interfaces in the human brain in our previous videos found in the description below. Elon believes that humans should team up with AI to avoid losing control over superintelligent machines. According to Jan LeCun, in the future, every digital interaction between humans will be done through AI assistants. The platforms on which these assistants will run, according to Meta chief AI scientist, will take the form of such devices as smart glasses, like Meta's Ray-Bans. But that's still a long way to go, as AI needs to be able to plan. Quote, we need machines that can understand the world, remember, reason, plan. Future AI systems should be as diverse as future users and should be able to cater to different languages, cultures, and centers of interest. Future artificial intelligence assistance systems will contain a repository of all human knowledge, end quote. The scientist compares the assistants of the future to a shared infrastructure similar to the internet or Wikipedia. He's also confident that AI will augment human intelligence, but we shouldn't feel threatened by it, he adds. If someone claims AI is going to kill everyone, don't listen to them. Do we believe Jan, or do we want to believe? Back in 2017, Sam Altman, then head of venture capital fund Y Combinator and co-CEO of a research nonprofit OpenAI, shared that the merging of humans and machines into one being will happen between 2025 and 2075. However, at the same time, he didn't share details about what a human with AI will look like. And what do you guys imagine a man of the future to be? Will he look like Keanu Reeves from Cyberpunk 2077, Takeshi from Altered Carbon, or just some fat dude glued to his monitor chomping down on a burrito? Let us know in the comments. Italian neuroscientist Giulio Tononi claims that humanity is moving towards a fusion of all minds and data. He gave a name to this phenomenon, integrated information theory. The same theory is held by philosopher Philip Goff. In his book, Galileo's Error, he explains the implications of the concept. Quote, integrated information theory predicts that if the growth of internet connections ever causes the amount of integrated information in society to exceed that of the amount in the human brain, not only will society become conscious, but the human brain will be absorbed into this higher level of consciousness. The brain will cease to be conscious in and of itself and instead become mere cogs in the mega-conscious entity that is society, including its internet connectivity. So far, this theory seems unlikely. There's no evidence that the human mind seeks to merge with others, but the theory itself raises important ideas, not only about the rapid acceleration of technology, not to mention how quantum computing might facilitate this, but also about the nature of consciousness itself. Hypothetically, if a collective mind were to emerge, one could speculate that this would mark the end of individuality. But then again, if you read Michael Talbot's holographic universe, there might be a feeling that we already are in a collective mind. In 2022, Elon Musk claimed that humans could eventually live forever by downloading their brains into robots. Quote, "Yes, we could download the things we think make us so unique. Of course, if you're no longer in this body, it will definitely make a big difference. But as far as preserving our memories, our personality, I think we could do that." End quote. According to the entrepreneur, such technology would be a gradual evolution of today's forms of computer memory. Hey. The idea of extending human life by uploading consciousness into synthetic bodies has been an integral part of science fiction for decades, with the 1964 sci-fi novel Dune referring to such beings as Cymax. Some experts now believe that mind-uploading technology may indeed be feasible someday, but the timeline is incredibly unclear. As for immortality, Kurzweil believes that by 2030 we will be able to extend human life expectancy by more than a year each year. Back in his 2005 book, The Singularity is Near, Kurzweil talked about nanotechnology and robotics, which he believes will lead to nanorobots that reverse aging. According to the former Google engineer, these tiny robots will permanently repair damaged cells and tissues that begin to break down as we age, making us immune to deadly diseases. Which kind of goes against Genesis 6:3, but who reads these days, right? Next to Kurzweil's predictions of human immortality are neighboring predictions of humanity's destruction. According to Jeffrey Hinton, scientists have managed to discover the secret of immortality, though not for humans. You can easily transplant a machine learning model to a new computer that works the same way and makes digital knowledge immortal. But you can't do the same with a human brain, says the scientist. So everything Ray knows will disappear when he dies. Many artificial intelligence researchers see the possible future development of superhuman AI as a non-trivial chance to cause the extinction of the human species. So in a survey at the end of 2023 among 2,700 researchers, nearly 58% believed in the likelihood of humanity's extinction due to AI. Ray doesn't share humanity's fears of super smart AIs. The futurologist believes that humans will not only develop technologies to protect their existence, but will also adopt AI's advanced human abilities. Until that happens, like many in Silicon Valley, he drinks 100 different pills and supplements a day to stay as young and healthy as possible. His colleagues are not lagging behind. Amazon creator Jeff Bezos also invests in biotechnology that promises eternal youth and also invests in the Alcor Life Extension Foundation, a California company that has been cryogenically freezing people's bodies and brains for almost 50 years. Talk about being worried about a power outage, huh? Sam Altman, meanwhile, has invested $180 million in Retro Biosciences, a startup that aims to extend the average human lifespan by just 10 years. In the last few years, however, every tech leader has invested in life-extending technology. If you want to know more about the latest technologies and revolutionary discoveries in the study of eternal youth, then we got you covered. Seek in the description below, and you will find. And of course, we couldn't help but mention the news that shocked internet users recently. BrainBridge is a project of Hashim Al-Ghaili, a molecular biologist, blogger, and screenwriter living in Germany. A couple of years ago, he proposed a conceptual baby factory where children are nurtured by artificial wombs. Now Al-Ghaili promises to perform head transplant surgery using robotic surgeons within 10 years. The idea is to use high-speed robotic systems to preserve brain health while transplanting the head into a compatible donor body. The surgery will be performed using artificial intelligence algorithms that will control multiple robotic arms to remove the head and attach it to a new torso, reuniting the spinal cord, nerves, and blood vessels. A proprietary chemical adhesive and polyethylene glycol will be used to reunite the severed neurons. And what movies come to mind when you hear of this gem, folks? Consciousness transfer, growing clones for organs. Ring any bells? Let us know in the comments. And while he's really going to try it, and there's even a plan to start with spinal cord surgeries, the scientific community is sleeping soundly for now, not really expecting any upheaval in reality. And on the website of the startup itself, only aesthetic surgeries for facial and scalp transplants have been announced thus far, and even then, in the future. Do you think any of these concepts will ever be realized, or is this just another money grab? Brain bridge coin, anybody? Whatever they're doing, the more scientists try to predict the future, the murkier it seems. And the smarter AI gets, the more experts talk about its dangers. Will we allow technology to reach human levels, or will we, like the heroes of Dune, be at war? It's an open-ender, and we are the answer. In the meantime, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and check out our Telegram for more news from the world of high tech.